The supermarket was crowded, noisy, and full of impatient people, but in the middle of all that chaos, one tiny voice rose above the rest, a trembling, innocent voice that stopped even hardened bikers in their tracks. "Mom, can we buy bread today? Please?" A pause. Then the little girl whispered, "My mom can't afford bread." That single sentence, soft, fragile, and filled with a kind of sadness no child should ever feel, fell into the air like a stone, and it landed right at the feet of a group of leather-clad bikers standing in line, the Hells Angels. People usually moved aside when they appeared. Their jackets, their size, their reputation, everything about them commanded space. But that day, they didn't intimidate anyone. Instead, they froze, their eyes shifting toward the voice. And that's where everything began. The struggle behind a smile, the little girl, barely 7, clutched her mother's hand. Her mother's clothes were worn, her shoulders tired, and her eyes clouded with worry. She held a small basket that contained only milk and eggs. She had already put back the bread when she realized she didn't have enough money. But she didn't expect her daughter to notice. The mother hushed her gently. "Don't worry, sweetheart, we'll get it next time." The girl nodded, but her face fell, a child trying hard to be brave. The bikers exchanged looks with each other. Their leader, a towering man named Cole, stepped out of the line without a word. People watched with curiosity, some with fear, but Cole didn't walk toward trouble. He walked toward the mother. "Ma'am," Cole said softly, surprising her with his kindness, "is everything okay?" The mother stiffened, pulling her daughter close. "We're fine, thank you." But Cole had heard enough, all of them had. These men, rumored to be rough, ruthless, and wild, felt something stir inside them. Many of them grew up with tough childhoods. They knew hunger, they knew struggle, and most importantly, they knew what it felt like to watch someone you love go without. Cole crouched to the little girl's level. "What's your name?" "Lila," the girl whispered. "Well, Lila," he said gently, "how about we fix this bread problem today?" The mother shook her head. "No, please, we don't take charity." Cole stood up straight. "Who said anything about charity? We just like helping good people when we see them." Before she could protest again, one of the bikers took her basket. Another grabbed a cart, and together the entire group headed down the aisles, loading essentials, food, fruits, vegetables, and even treats Lila had never dreamed of asking for. People watched in stunned silence. At the checkout, the bikers paid for everything without blinking. Cole gently pushed the full cart toward the mother. She stared at it, at them, at her daughter. Her lips trembled. I don't know how to thank you." "You don't have to," Cole replied. "Just promise me something." She blinked. "What?" "Don't ever let life make you feel small. You survived another day. That makes you stronger than you think." The mother broke down, not because of the groceries, but because someone finally saw her. Behind that simple moment lay battles none of them spoke about aloud. She had recently been laid off from her job as a receptionist. She was raising Lila alone after her husband died in an accident. Her rent was overdue, and her electricity bill was already on final notice. She skipped meals just so her daughter wouldn't go hungry. She carried guilt, fear, and exhaustion everywhere she went. Some of the bikers grew up poor, neglected, or abused. Others never had families of their own. Many of them were judged by the world for their tattoos and jackets before anyone even heard them speak. They knew exactly what it felt like to be misunderstood. And they knew that small acts of kindness could change someone's entire world. This moment brought every one of those struggles to the surface and tied them together. Cole insisted on helping them. Load the groceries into their car. While they worked, Lila shyly handed him a small drawing, 2 stick figures holding hands, wearing big jackets like his. "For you," she said. Cole swallowed hard. "Thank you, sweetheart. I'll keep it forever." When they were about to leave, Cole hesitated. "Listen, we have a community event every Saturday. Free meals, music, safe space for families. You're welcome to join." The mother hesitated, unsure. Cole smiled. "You don't have to be afraid of us. We protect what matters." She finally knowed Saturday arrived, and everything changed again when the mother and Lila walked into the biker clubhouse that weekend. They expected loud music, chaos, smoke, something rough. But instead, they saw kids running around, families laughing, big tables filled with food, warm greetings. a community that felt safer than anywhere else. Lila instantly bonded with the bikers. They taught her to draw, to paint, to build little wooden crafts. They gave her confidence she never had before. The mother found support too. Women who helped her find a new job, bikers who offered to repair her car for free, and a community that treated her with respect instead of pity. Slowly, life changed. Her rent got paid. Her electricity stayed on. Lila never had to worry about bread again. And the lonely nights became filled with laughter and hope. Months later, when she finally stood on her feet again, she returned to the clubhouse, not as someone in need, but as someone ready to give. She cooked a huge pot of food for everyone. She volunteered to help organize events. She brought new families who were struggling, telling them, if they help me, they'll help you too. Even the toughest bikers admitted that seeing her rebuild her life was one of the most inspiring things they had ever witnessed. One night, as the sun set and Lila slept on a biker's shoulder after a long day of playing, the mother looked at Cole. "I used to think the world was cold and people didn't care," she said softly. "But you proved me wrong." Cole shook his head. "No, you proved yourself wrong. We just reminded you that good people still exist, even if they ride loud bikes." She smiled for the first time in months, and from that day forward the Hells Angels weren't just bikers to her. They were family. Because sometimes help comes from the people you least expect. Sometimes kindness wears leather and rides a motorcycle, and sometimes a little girl's honest words can melt even the hardest hearts. "Mom can't afford bread." Those words changed everything, forever.